Happy morning, my dear children. Welcome back to our VNCBSECS English online class. Yes, I'm glad to meet you all again with a new lesson. Yes, today we're gonna listen to a story of our Unit 6. Yes, this is Unit 6. The title of the lesson is Expert Detectives. Yes, what's the title of the lesson? Expert Detectives. It's given in page numbers from 88 to 97 in your textbook, so no need to take your textbook now. It's an interesting story, obviously, so you just listen to me. Then after that I'll send you a video, you can watch that, and after that when you wanna complete your book back exercises, you can read the story. Then after that you can complete your homework. Okay, children? Yes. And now, before we get into the story, let me ask you a question. How many of you would like to become a detective? Any idea? Is there anybody in my class? Is there anybody wanna become a detective? Yes. Okay. If so, you just type your answer and type the reason to me in WhatsApp. Okay, children? And now let's go to the story. So I'm just gonna give you the brief detail summary of the story. Then later you can read the book. Okay, my dear children? Yes. Okay. So children, this is the story of two siblings. Okay. So Nishad and Maya. Yeah. Nishad, he is of 7, and Maya, she is 10 years old. Yes, Nishad, he was 7 years old, and Maya 10 years old. Okay, so these two siblings, they were very curious to learn about the mysterious neighbor. Yeah, their mysterious neighbor, he was Mr. Nath. So this is the story of two siblings. Who are they? Nishad and Maya. Okay, so these two siblings, they were very curious to learn about the mysterious neighbor. Who was it? Mr. Nath. Okay, their mother was a doctor. Yes, so this Mr. Nath, he was also the one of the patients of their mother. Okay, children. And Nishad, he was often called as Seven. He was popularly known as Seven. Okay, you just find out the meaning. Why? Okay, children. And he always feels sorry for Mr. Nath. Why? Because he hardly spoke with anyone. Yeah, he did not have the habit of talking to somebody else, those who were living nearby. Yeah, he was always all alone. Yeah, he did not have any companies even. Okay, children. So that's why this Nijat, yeah, he felt sorry for Mr. Nath. Okay, children. This Mr. Nath, he was so thin because he was poor and he had no food. Yes, Nishad believed that he was so thin because he was poor man and he did not have enough food to eat. That's why he was so thin. Who believed? Yeah, Nishad, he thought like that. He believed that. Okay. On the other hand, Maya, his sister, she thought that he was a criminal. Who? Mr. Nath was a criminal. Yeah, because he had hidden the loot in his room. Yes, this is a belief of Maya. Okay, and she didn't believe that he was starving. Why? The reason is he ordered meals from the restaurant. Yeah, children? Yeah, what she thought. Yes, the person who always orders meals from the restaurant, how can he starve? Yes, how could he starve? This is what Maya always thinks, and she didn't believe that he was starving. Okay, children, and she has the doubt. He did not go to any work, but he had enough money to pay the food bills in cash. And in addition, he gave some tips to the delivery boy. How was it possible? Yes, these are the questions of Maya. Okay, children. So she believed that he had a trunk in his room full of gold and jewels. Yes, with the help of that, he was ordering meals, he paid the food bills in cash, and he tipped the delivered by. Okay, children. And she also believed the scars on Mr. Nath's face were the result of an encounter with the police. Yeah, what she believed. Yes, children? Mr. Nath, he had some scars on his face. Okay, so this Maya, she believed that the scars were the result of an encounter with police. Yeah, although her mother, she said they were the burn scars. They were not the result of an encounter with police, but they were the burn scars. But this Maya, she was not ready to believe that. Why? Because she started set her mind as he was the criminal. Who? Mr. Nath, he was the criminal. That's why she was not ready to believe that the scars were the burn scars. Okay, children. And this Nishad, he wanted to know about his neighbor, yeah, his mysterious neighbor, Mr. Nath. So one day he went to his house and offered him a bar of chocolate. Okay, children, he accepted. And on his way, he met Ramesh. Yes, he's a new character. He was the delivery boy. And this Nishad, he planned that from Ramesh, he could get some information. He could get some interesting facts about Mr. Nath. Okay, so he started inquiring him. Okay, so what are the questions? What are the things he wanted to know about this Nath? Mr. Nath, yes. And Nishad, he asked so many questions. Okay, he asked Ramesh various questions because he was very curious to know about Mr. Nath. Okay, children, and the first question he asked was, yes, what did Mr. Nath eat? Yes, and then when did he eat? Yes, and then what he drinks and when. Okay, and how he pays. Yes, children, what are the question? What did he eat? And then when did he eat? And what did he drink? And when did he drink? Okay, children, and then how he pays. Yes, these are the questions he asked Ramesh. Okay, and after answering these questions, yes, after answering these all questions, Ramesh, he gave an additional information. What was that? Mr. Nath, he had a same visitor every Sunday afternoon. Okay, a same visitor, yeah, a same visitor, a spectacled man. He often visits Mr. Nath every Sunday afternoon. Yes, this was the additional information Nishad got from Ramesh. Okay, children. And then Maya, she started her investigation. Okay, Maya, she thought that yes, he had a regular visitor. Who? Mr. Nath. So obviously he was Mr. Nath's partner in crime. This is the first thing she told. And she made a list of facts, interesting facts about Mr. Nath. And she was trying to convince Nishad that Mr. Nath was indeed a criminal. Okay, children. So she was ready with her list of facts. Okay, children. Let's see what are the facts she was getting ready with. Okay, the first one. Nobody knows his second name. Yes, so no neighbors, they do know his second name. Whose second name? Mr. Nath's second name. And the neighbors, they think Mr. Nath was mad and hostile. Okay, children. So the first, she thought that Mr. Nath's partner, who was that? Yes, he was the man. He was an accomplice to Mr. Nath. Yeah, Maya, she interpreted everything as a great conspiracy. Yeah, and she saw the man, the regular visitor, as his partner in crime. Okay, and she was trying to convince Nishad with her list of facts. The first one, nobody knows his second name, and the next one, other people, the neighbors, they think that he was mad and hostile. Yes, and yes, nobody sent him letters. He was staying in the same room for more than a year. Okay, children. So the first one is nobody knows his second name, and others think that he was mad and hostile. Who? Mr. Nath. And she had some doubts that nobody sent him letters. Yes, and he was staying in the same room for more than a year. Yes, these are the facts. And in addition, she added some information that no visitors except that bespectacled man. Yeah, so these man, he used to visit Mr. Nath during every Sunday afternoon, right? So except him, there were no visitors. Yeah, and he always orders his meals from the restaurant. Yes, children. So Nishad, he was totally stand against the facts made by his sister, okay, Maya. And he told that Mr. Nath, he is a poor man, he was lonely. Okay, so he ignored not only Maya but her facts as well. Yes, he ignored Maya as well as her facts because he believed that Mr. Nath, he was lonely. That's why he is ordering food. He had no visitors. He had no persons to write letters. Everything. Okay. So you are just making a story. These are not the facts. Nishad, he was totally against to the facts made by his sister. Yes. Who's the sister? Maya. Okay, and Nishad, he didn't like Maya calling Mr. Nath a criminal. Okay, so whenever Maya just, when she says his name, yeah, here she never used some honorifics. Instead, she just mentioned like Mr. Nath was a criminal. So Nishad, he didn't like she calling him as a criminal. Okay, children. And Nishad, he wanted to find out why he was thin, why he had no friends, why he lived alone. Yes, so these are the things he wanted to find out and he was so curious about. Yes, Maya, her sister, she didn't like his attitude, and the siblings, they fought with each other always. Okay, but finally Nishad, he determined to be friends with Mr. Nath because he liked him genuinely. Okay, children, Nishad, he liked him wholeheartedly. That's why he wanted to know all the facts about him. Yes, he determined to be friends with him. Why? Because he was lonely. He needs a person to be friends with him. Okay, so that's why Nishad decided to be friends with him. Yes, the reason is he liked him genuinely, wholeheartedly. Okay, children, this is how the story ends here. Yes, so these two little budding detectives, yeah, they have some ideas to detect about their neighbors. Okay, so they want to know some details about their neighbors. That's why they were always curious about the neighbor Mr. Nath. Yes, they themselves believe that they are the detectives, so they started collecting all the information about their neighbor, the mysterious man Mr. Nath. Okay, children. So one side Nishad, he had collected all the positive because he liked him genuinely. Yes, on the other side, yes, in contrast to Nishad, his sister Maya, she totally collected only the, yes, negative information about Mr. Nath. So this is how the story ends here, my dear children. I hope you enjoyed the story. So now let's see some questions from the story. I hope you may answer these questions. Yes, the first one. What did Nishad give Mr. Nath and why? As you know that Nishad one day he visited his house, Mr. Nath's house, and he gave him a bar of chocolate, right? Why? Because he thinks that Mr. Nath is starving and should eat something. Okay, children, he thinks that Mr. Nath was starving, hungry. Yes, and he was a poor man according to Nishad. That's why he believes that if he gives chocolate, yes, he'll be full. Okay, children. That's why he gave him a bar of chocolate. Yes, okay. And the next question. What is strange about Mr. Nath's Sundays? Yes, what is strange? Yeah, he had a visitor. Who was that? Sunday visitor. Yes, be spectacled man. Yes, a spectacled man. He often visits Mr. Nath only on Sundays, right? And children, Ramesh, who was there, delivery boy, he carries 2 lunches to Mr. Nath's room. Yeah, the same man is with him each time. Who's that? Yeah, he's tall, fair, stout, and wears spectacles. Spectacles, spectacles. Okay, children, this visitor talks a lot, unlike Mr. Nath, who hardly speaks. Yes, as you know that seldomly Mr. Nath he talks with people, right? But unlike him, this spectacled man, yes, this visitor, this Sunday visitor, he was a talkative man. Okay, children, and let's move to the next question. What does Nijad find out about Mr. Nath from Ramesh? Yes, what are the things I told you? Do you remember? Yes, children, the first one, what he eats. Yes, children, what he eats. And the next one, when he eats, right? And the next one, what he drinks, right? And then when he drink. And one more, how he pays. Yes, he paid by cash, you know that, right? So when I will give you the notes, I will include all the information. For example, what he eats. Yes, 2 chapatis, some dal, and a vegetable. Yeah, and when he eats, once in the morning and once in the evening, so 2 times in a day. Okay, and what he drinks and when, 2 cups of tea, 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. And how he pays, as you all know, he paid Ramesh, delivery man, by cash. Okay, children, yes, these are the information you should add when you write your notes. Yes, children. And the next question, why does Maya think Mr. Nath is a crook, is a criminal? Who does she say the Sunday visitor is? Yes, children. Why she thought that? Yes, Maya, she thought Mr. Nath was a crook. He was a criminal. Why? Because he had no friends and he did not talk to anybody else. Yes, no friends, he never talks to anybody else, and she always thinks that the scars on his face, yes, they were the scars of the result of the encounter with the police. Okay, children, and she was suspicious of him because he did not work but still had money to pay for food and other things. She doubted that he was not going to any work, but how did he have enough money to pay? Yes, she was thinking that. And who does she say the Sunday visitor is? Okay, children. Maya, she thought that the Sunday visitor is his accomplice who keeps all the loot and comes now and then to give part of it to his partner, Mr. Nath, for expenses. Okay, children. She thought that this Sunday visitor, he was his partner in crime. Okay, whose partner? Mr. Nath's partner. Okay, children. And next question. Does Najat agree with Maya about Mr. Nath? Yes. Whether he agreed? No. What's the answer? Najat, he didn't agree. Yes, with his sister Maya. How does he feel about him? About whom? About Mr. Nath. Yes, he feels sympathetic towards for him and wants to try and make friends with him. He likes him and wants to know his story. Yes, these are the things you know. Right, children? Okay, so I hope you understand the story. After listening to your YouTube class, you just check your WhatsApp. I'll send you a video. Just download that, and once again you see that animated video, you definitely get the clear understanding of this lesson. Okay, children, and I'll send the notes. You just download that PDF and copy that in your English notebook. And children, again and again I'm telling you, after completing your notes, take a snapshot and send it to me. Don't forget that, and try to complete your book back exercises as well. Okay, children? Yes. So here we come to an end of today's class. Till we meet in the next class. Bye for now. Thank you, dear children. Take care.